Well, I am thinking it's probably about 20 hours since we glued this up here. And it's going to be pretty hard to try and pull this thing apart here, but it shouldn't be too hard to break this little piece of sprue off that we glued on. And I think we should do what you might call a stress test. No, it's not going to be a very definitive stress test, but at least we'll be able to see what happens when we pry this off of here. How does it break apart? Does it sort of snap off and leave a little bit of snap off clean, if you know what I mean? Or does it sort of want to take plastic off of both the sprue and off of this part? And, in other words, it's welded itself together really well. I'm having a little bit of trouble here saying what I'm thinking. So let's stick on the macro lens and zoom in. Now I think what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to take this part and I'm going to fasten it in my little vise here and fasten it down on the table, model table, because we're not at a real good angle to watch this pulling apart. And also, I have to admit that if you recall yesterday, when I was sort of pushing around on it after it had started to dry, I did undoubtedly, fracture it a little bit. But I think we should be able to tell pretty good how well this glue melded or welded the two parts together. And before I would give it 5 stars, it would have to be, in my opinion, melding the two parts together. Okay, the idea is I should be able to adjust everything at just the perfect angle here. Now, I don't want to be squeezing this too tight. After all, it is just plastic. Yet I don't want it so loose that when I push on it, it's going to twist. I think that's probably going to be okay. I think if I pry in that direction, push it down just a little bit here. You know, this vise is not made really well. It binds badly when you try to adjust it. I don't know. Maybe I expect too much for, what was it, $20 or less delivered to the house. All right. Yeah, I think that's going to be okay. Okay, let's get the macro lens back on. Okay, I gotta try and do this so that I don't block your vision here. And I suppose I could have put the super macro on and really zoomed in on this connection, but let me get my other glasses on again. Okay. Now, the idea is when I start prying, and I'm going to push it in this direction, we want it to rip off, not snap off. So here we go. Well, it does appear to me like there are parts of both part. I'll know better when I look in the computer monitor. Right now you're seeing it really well. I'm seeing it a little bit well. So, okay. Well, where did it go? Okay, that was our test. Okay, I did put the super macro on here. And the area we're looking at is the part on the turret. And we'll just take Mr. T's poking device here and sort of scrape across it. Okay, I do believe that what we're looking at here, over here on the edge, is parts of the sprue. Let's just, for the fun of it, see if I can set it up so we can look at the end of the sprue. Now those little craters that we're looking at that almost look like craters on the moon, they were actually bubbles. I guess you know that. Offhand, I would say, in all likelihood, parts of the turret are on this piece and parts of this piece are on the turret. So I would have to say it didn't do too bad. I would have preferred that the weld was actually better. But then, like I say, I did sort of give it a little bit of stress there about 5 minutes after it had cured. So, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe this is not a real definitive test. But I think this is pretty good glue. I think it works really well on plastic. As far as it being extra fast goes, well, that's another story. I just wasn't seeing it. Now, I gotta tell you, this is not what I had intended to do when I got started here this morning. Yeah, when I got started, I was going to clear coat this little boat here so that when I put the polyurethane on later, I don't need to worry about it. I was going to clear coat it with the Tamiya X22 Clear, and that was the plan. And then I got sidetracked. Now, let me get rid of this. Okay, I am not happy with that test. I'm just not happy with it. Because I had sort of pried it loose there a little bit yesterday and then let it reset, the connection, it just didn't seem right to me. It almost felt kind of, or looked to me like it was almost crumbly, and that's not the way I thought it should have been. Now, we've got 3 of these glues here, if I can get hold of them. And then we've got this one here, so that makes 4. Actually, we got 5. We got this old testers that goes back, way back to the Titanic and Lusitania. This is over 40 years old. Why don't we do a controlled test? Find another piece of plastic here, clean it off really good. I can cut some more sprue, and we can make 5 different little sections here, and glue it on. I'm just gonna go ahead and do that, and yeah, I just want to do a better test. As long as I'm going to do it again, I may as well do all 5 glues, right? And yeah, we'll do it in a little bit of a more controlled manner, and then we'll leave it for 24 hours. That's the plan. Okay, what I've done here now is I have drilled a little hole just slightly bigger than these pieces of sprue that I've cut. And this is the first time I'm trying it, so it better fit. Yeah, it's going to be alright. Now the idea is it will slightly protrude through the bottom here, and I'll be able to use this thing as a jig so that I can sand the ends of each one of these reasonably square and reasonably flush. I want to do this as, I don't want to later on in the middle of the night wake up thinking, gee, I could have done this better. Okay. You can see the little piece protruding through there. Now, this should work. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be better than if I was to just hold it in my fingers and then go around like this, which wouldn't be too bad either. So let's give it a whirl here. This is, I believe it's 200 grit. 400 grit. All right. Probably by the time I get to the last one, I'll have a system going here. All right. Now, how does that look? That's going to be good. Okay. May as well pick the end that needs the least amount of milling. Oh my. I cut this one too short. Now what am I going to do? Always something, isn't there? Always something. Ugh. Now, Tony, I have certainly got a lot of use out of this piece of plastic. And the thought right now is to try and get the end here all cleaned off. I'm going to use some isopropyl on it now in a moment. I just want to make sure that the plastic that we are going to try and use here does not have any paint or anything like that on it. At least that's the plan. Now, I'm not going to sand the plastic. I suppose I could take some 1000 grit sandpaper and sand on it, but I don't think we need to do that because you don't sand the plastic parts, at least not usually. Oh, what's coming off here? Oh, I'm probably getting up into here maybe. Or was there something maybe on this decal? I want to make sure that this is pristine here. Okay, I'm beating this to death, aren't I? I think I pretty much got it. We'll find 5 places here, and we'll mark them as to what they are. So later there's no need to worry about excuse me, that we got the glue mixed up. Okay, I think we pretty much got it here. This doesn't have to be perfect. Now, I think what we're going to do is we've got 5 pieces, so we'll do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. I'm pretty sure that all of this, is going to be clear plastic, so we don't need to worry about contamination, I would think. And I'm going to wipe them off just one more time after, or rather before I put them on. Let's take a close look here and see how these look. Yeah, they look pretty good to me. When I first got these this set of tweezers, there was quite a few that were similar, that were a lot like this, and I took and I bent the ends of one tweezer so it's kind of pincher shaped, and I think they're going to be really good for this, for not allowing the piece to go pinging off on you. Now, yeah, it fits on there really nice and square, and I didn't have to take it downstairs and do it in my lathe either. Let's try another one. Yeah, they're going to be just fine. Okay, now let's say we were going to do this one here. This one will be the Revell glue. That'll be this one here. And I'm just trying to decide now, do I allow the glue to wick its way in? In other words, drop the piece down and then allow it to wick its way in? Or do I take and put a little droplet of glue on the plastic and then drop the part into it, it might be more fair to the glue in other words, I wouldn't have little air bubbles like we had on the other one. If I put the glue on and then allow it to squeeze out, there'd be less air. I'm going to try it now. I could have a problem when I get to the thin, the extra thin and the extra thin quick, and maybe even this one for all I know, and also the testers. If I remember right, it was the same type of glue. It could be that I'll put the glue on, and before I have a chance to get the part down, it might just wick its way all over the place, and I'll have to reset up. I don't know. I haven't tried it. Maybe I should try it on on another piece here. Where's that turret we had? Well, we don't have the turret, but we got... Well, this one's all covered with glue or something. I wonder what happened there. Well, I must have broken this apart for at one time. It's not the same as the other. Anyway, maybe I could do it up here. Okay, here's the extra thin. Let's just see what happens up here. Oh no, I think we can probably get a nice large droplet on there and it's not going to wick away on us. Yeah, so that's going to work out all right. Now later on I'm going to have the macro lens zoomed right in here, and I don't want to have to take a whole lot of time trying to compose everything and refocus. I just want to be able to slide the camera around on its base, and if I know where I'm going to put these, I don't know if you can see it or not, but right here and right here there's I think it's a positioning pin or a push-out pin or something in the molding process. So I want to be careful I don't try to set the part right here. But anyway, this will give me an idea later, so I can just quickly go from one place to the other. And I'm going to try and do the two camera system, and that way if I make a mistake and grab the wrong bottle, I can later on see, oh, well, that's, this one is supposed to be the Revell, but maybe I grabbed the testers, you know what I mean? But I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm hoping that I can use the two camera system, and it'll also make it a little more interesting. I'll try and switch from one to the other at the appropriate time. Okay, let's try not to bump anything here. The first one is going to be the Revell, and we're going to put our little droplet right here. Now I see there's a little bit of a bubble there. I'm hoping I'm going to squash that out of there. Oh, it popped. Okay, and here we go. Alright, now we'll move back and we'll do the testers. And it's going to go just above that push-out pin mark. I think we got enough there. Yeah. Okay. Now the next one is the the ordinary Tamiya cement, and this is going to be the first time. Oh, forgot to move the camera. Okay, there we go. Okay. This will be the first time for the Tamiya cement. Oh, I see what they mean about the applicator. Yeah, that's a pretty horkin' big applicator. Okay. Now the next one here is our, check my list, extra thin. Yeah, extra thin. And it's going to go just right there. And don't forget to move it. And the extra thin. Good old extra thin. And the last one, I might have to kind of swing this a little bit here. And we'll turn this. If I get my focusing dot right there, we should be able to see it all right. Okay. Last one is going to go right there. And it is going to be our extra thin quick setting. Oh my, a little bit more than I had intended. Okay, we'll just leave those now. I think everything looks all right. Well, today did not go as planned, that's for sure. I guess we're going to have to leave the clear coating of my grandson's little boat until tomorrow. Yeah, we have completely run out of time here. The video could be longer, but I've run out of time for the day. Thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.